as a buyer when you lock in. As a listing agent, if I want to ask for the buyer's agent, okay, what question? We never care how many days they lock in the rate, right? Now you better think about twice how long you be locked, for the day. Usually we can lock in a day, 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. All the rate is different. Then the 15 days, those are cheapest rate. You can't, no, not anymore. 30 days, not enough time. You better find somebody. The buyer locking their rate 60 days or longer. Because if anything wrong from between here, the loan estimate and the closing disclosure, you can only have 10% tolerance difference. That means from the beginning to the end, if the difference is more than 10%, everything have to redo it. From the beginning, loan estimate, start it again.
What is the difference between 10%?
For example, your closing costs, everything, all the charge, all the fee. No more than $10,000 if, for example, your closing costs, everything $10,000. And the difference between the original, the loan estimate, cannot be more than $1,000. That's 10%. That's pretty easy, right? If somebody want to give the credit for the repair, what do you do? You gotta redo it.
So regarding the as buyer's agent for the contingent period, how many days you propose?
I would say at least for the inspection from 17 days at least to 21. I will probably, like myself, I will probably submit the offer for like 25 days. And the loan contingency from 21, at least you gotta push to 25. But I will probably put it 30 days. Then what do you think? How many days gonna close? 45 days. That's our ultimate goal. If you are lucky, 45 days. So we gotta work harder for the money. Gotta wait longer for our commission.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you can have a longer contingent period. The problem is seller will choose shorter.
So later on, what's gonna happen? Cash offer. Wow. Yeah. And how many we have a cash offer now? It's not many. It's not many at all. So those are the terms you gotta have to speak the right language. So I mean, when it's beginning, you gotta ask okay, where's the loan estimate? What is called a closing disclosure? No more HUD one or estimate closing statement. No, closing disclosure. Actually, I copied down from the escrow company. So those are basically what affecting those, for the consumer lending industry, settlement service. What is the settlement service industry? That's what we usually call escrow now. We don't call escrow anymore. Yeah, settlement agent. It is though. What's a lender? You gotta see it. I gotta relearn all the terminology. Lender, we gotta call creditors. Yeah. Lender is gonna be the creditor. You'll see it, on your handout. Just, want to let you know. See this? Escrow calling a settlement agent. So if somebody got, which your settlement agent? What the heck you talking about?
That's right.
That's right. I guarantee you, you go to the after office first. A lot of people say, what's your escrow? No. It's a settlement agent. You gotta learn, all right?
That was old, man, too.
Yeah, because later on, why they get a big change is because lender, creditor. Okay, the creditor is going to be like, for example, the big creditors. They're going to have online. They call the e-upload, the e-monitoring, e-update. Why? You can actually, from your smartphone or your iPad, you can actually, as a buyer or the borrower, you can monitor what exactly were the loan, for process, which step. or what document you need. Because they got an escrow and a major lender, they gotta have the software that combine together. So they don't have to say, used to be we have to email this to the lender. No, they just upload it to a software. So they would actually can see, everybody can see on the same page. Now from the lender, the escrow, so to the borrower, everybody will see it at the same page. So they have to consolidate everything. Okay? So we got that's the new term. And the day of a loan doc and sign, that means borrower become obligated to the loan. That's called consummation day. Not signing the loan doc day, okay? Consummation day. I didn't make the rule. I just, share all the information, what I learned. That's it. Yeah. And closer escrow day is called the settlement day. We got a settlement agent, so we got a settlement day. So if like somebody say, what the heck is a COE plus 3, COE plus 5? Oh well, we'll see. We're going to change that. Settlement day. But I mean, I'm not so sure it's that our RPA going to be changing the contingency period. Because actually they knew it long time ago, but obviously 17 and 21 on the current purchase agreement is not enough time. Maybe, when the new update coming up, they may, extend the escrow, the contingency period date, if they do not remember to change it. Okay? Otherwise, you can just kill it yourself. Okay, when you submit the offer. And the listing agent will not say anything to you. Ha ha. Gotcha. Certainly, those are the lender. If not, they are not following, they get a penalty on that. The major violations of $1 million per day. Because everything is going to be monitoring through the Consumer Financial Protection. Sorry. Shut my phone. Bureau, CFPB. Okay, they are under the federal government. So same thing though. They gotta follow the guideline as well. So I will probably go through on different slides, different files. So jump around, but the major, what you see on your handout, the major thing, that's a calendar. We're gonna see it very shortly. That calendar is really important because that would actually calculate how many days. Those I just have to let you know. The borrower must receive the LE. That's what? Loan estimate. 3 business days after the loan application submitted and returned to notice of intent to proceed. So when the borrower, the buyer, when they receive the LE, 3 days, so you can surely email it or in-person delivery or by mail. When they receive it, they have to acknowledge. They have to sign it. Without that signature acknowledgement, loan agent will not do anything. And they cannot do anything. Borrower, buyer has to sign it first before they can proceed. Okay, so you gotta remind the buyer, when they receive this, the LE, review it and sign it. Then the borrower must receive the CD. That's a what? Closing disclosure. 3 business days before they can sign the loan doc. So that's, when they receive the closing disclosure. You think it's reviewing? Yeah, sit there. You cannot. Now we can actually, when we receive a loan doc, we can sign what? Right away.
That's right.
Not anymore. Okay? Not anymore. And if the closing disclosure is sent by mail, to the escrow or to the borrower, it's not. If some of old timers, they don't know how to use an email. If you want to do it by mail, you better add another 3 days to 4 days. So become 1 week before they can sign the loan doc. Because when they receive it, wait 3 days. Then they can sign the loan doc. That's a waiting period. You know, even we don't like it, too bad. We have to accept it. And that's why the lender will, protect the delivery date, their deadline, by sending themselves a given total 7 business days. 7 business days from send out before allow the loan doc to be signed. Not calendar day, 7 business days. But at least we got one good news. What news? Saturday is going to be counting as a business day. Saturday. That means the loan agent, they better work on Saturday now. Hey, come on, we work 7 days a week, right? Yeah. They better work their butt off. Now they only work 5 days a week. Later on, I'll show you other slide. By law, Saturday is going to be counting as a business day. But I don't know, it's like some of the lenders, they still consider 5 days as a business day. But legally, later on, when you see the calendar, Saturday is considered a business day.
So escrow has to work on Saturday too, right?
I don't know, maybe, should be. So it may have, everybody, had to, now it's only the preparation period. Maybe some of the lender, they already started, input their process already. So maybe, I'm thinking, escrow will probably open on Saturday too. I think. Because when this processing, hey, we got last holidays. So Saturday is going to be considered as a business day. That's the good thing. Otherwise, 5 business days a week, that's not enough. So if you see this, just kind of tell you, if you see that your handout, just give you the overview on the calendar. You guys don't see it on your handout? Anybody get a handout? Right here, at the last page. Calendar, this is a bigger one. I know your slide is too small. They didn't make you a calendar? Oh, so sorry. 没有啊？第4页这个，拍 OK。
We even have that one.
外面那边有，外面那边没有。Oh, OK. Anyway, actually, I all have a completed copy, as you can see. When I can put it right here, you can all see it. But email 都可以啦，反正到时候 Asher 这边 Asher Sunny they all have it. You make the calendar here? No? Okay. Okay. That's okay. I can, kind of tell you if I can go an even better to 400%. Okay. That's okay. You'll get a handout, but I mean, the Asher, they'll make a copy, but just, kind of let you know. Let's say Monday, our RPA got accepted. Then we'll start a loan. So the buyer submit the loan application on day number 2, because you need the RPA CA to process, right? So certainly, before that, you better have a loan approved before you open the escrow. You got not just any a pre-approval letter. You better have the buyer submit all their application, all their document, tax return, everything to the lender to get prepared. The only thing they lack of is a purchase agreement. You gotta be prepared on that. And certainly, I don't suggest you wasting time if without the pre-approval letter, especially those buyers, unless they want to pay cash. Then what? Show me the money! All right, the bank statement. All right, same thing. You gotta see the bank statement, and it better be here. The China, it doesn't count, right? So those are, you don't want to wasting time, for somebody that's not ready, because it's gonna be a mess. Not only that, as a listing agent, I would suggest you better off to verify with the before you accept the offer. Remember to verify the buyer's loan agent. See what's their processing. Did you have all the document you need before you accept the offer? Because once you accept it, you're stuck with it, right? For how long? 60 days. Oh man. Then it's going to be a mess. You just watch who's going to be, the seller going to piss on you as a listing agent. All right? So carefully choose the buyer. Okay? Well, unless that's the only buyer, then that's a different story. Okay? If that's the only offer you got. But it's a multiple offer, choose wisely.
Choose cash buyer.
Yeah, well, I didn't say I have to choose a cash buyer. Unless the cash buyer, they're willing to pay the premium. Then you better check their money's all here. Okay? And if you could, verify the bank statement as well. Who knows, right? Everything can be fake. Yeah. Okay, so you were looking at, once we got the second day, the buyer submitted a loan application. Then the lender, will send out an LE, a 3 business day. So Thursday, day 1. Friday, 2, 3, Saturday. Until the following Monday, on the day 8, then buyer get the loan estimate they receive. Then they acknowledge right away on day number 9. Then the lender, next day, day number 10, lender will receive the intent to proceed. Then that's the time, once they receive it, day 11, lender will start loan processing. And I think pretty conservative, 2 weeks, right? Well, all the loan processing go through the lender, you have to go through appraisal, everything. But before that, just want to let you know, before you submit it on before the lender send out the loan application, and so before they receive the intent to proceed, lender cannot collect any money from the borrower except just a credit report fee. He cannot collect any fee up front. For example, can I collect the appraisal fee up front? No. We gotta wait until what? Almost a week later. Yeah. So same thing, lender, they gotta, and if the applicant, they are not qualified within that 3 days period when they do the loan estimate, oh, you are not even qualified for this house, then the lender doesn't have to give you the loan estimate within 3 days because you're not qualified, the borrower. So what's next? You gotta move on to the next lender. Or if you resubmit the application, any supplemental document, then your clock start reset again. 3 more days. So that's why I say you better have everything ready before you open escrow. Some of the lender or maybe the mortgage broker, they just give you, okay, by what they are telling. Just like even Wells Fargo, you can fill it out, the application online, right? Based on what you filled it in, they will give you a pre-qualified letter. But when you really submit the document, wait a minute, that's a different story. Oh well, I cannot using your 1099. I mean, I thought you are filling it, I thought it's a W-2. Well, they didn't really. When you fill out the application online, they just ask you, how much did you make? You fill it in. But the lender doesn't like what? A 1099, they like to see W-2, okay. Then you got an argument now. Some people may have a salary for the W-2 plus 1099. That's a total combined income. But lender did not see it until you open escrow, submit all the documents. Wait a minute, Sally, you are not qualified for this loan. So that becomes the pre-qualified letters. You gotta have to get more supplemental documents. So that's why if you could have the buyer submit everything before open escrow. Okay, so after 2 weeks later, jump to day 25. Okay, finally, loan approved. Lender will mail the CD, closing disclosure, to the borrower. Then you're gonna wait what? 3 more days. 1, 2, and 3. A lot of 3 days waiting, I can tell you that. And you cannot push it. There's no exception either. All right? That's by law. Not just in California, it's nationwide, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Well, unless you want to borrow hard money, that's maybe different. If they're regularly, if like, the lender, that's, they all have to follow the rule. Then you will see the day 26, 27, day 29, wait 3 more days. On day 30, buyer finally received the CD. Then you gotta wait what? 3 more days before they can sign a loan doc. So totally combined what? 7 days already. So that's why there's no way you can close concurrently. Why? Because if you close an escrow, usually the lender has to see their closing proceed, right, to the other escrow. Once you send it to the other escrow, the lender want to see that. You gotta wait another what? 7 days. How can you close concurrently? You can't. Not even 1 day later. No, 1 week later. Minimum, 1 week later. So if somebody want to sell the property first, then you buy another property. You better be prepared at least 1 week apart. And that's a 7 business day and plus 1 Sunday, so 8 days. And you gotta wait until another what? Funding? The recording day? 10 days. Okay? If you really want to, now we can close concurrently, maybe 1 day's difference. Now later on it's going to become 10 days. Because that 7 days, when you're gone, you sign a loan doc. Then you got to wait until the loan funded, right? The lender, next day, on the day 36, that's the lender receive your, the loan doc, and they review. Day 37, okay, that's ultimate goal, 24 hours they fund it. Then you close the escrow. So if it really in the real world, if nothing wrong with that, 38 days already. Now how can we do a 30-day escrow? If we got some hiccup, anything wrong with it, that's why play safe, 45-day escrow. Okay? So those are, you gotta have to explain to the buyers. Buying a house is not that easy anymore, but whoever still in the processing the loan or haven't purchased anything yet, try to create some urgency. You better open escrow by July 31st because anything submitted before July 31st using the old guideline, the current guideline, okay? Anything after August 1st, uh-oh. You did not open escrow, tough luck. Everything has to be new. And you gotta resubmit everything again.
Is it necessary for buyer to wait 3 days before they sign the intent to proceed?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they don't have to wait 3 days because it's actually give the lender the 3 days to prepared. Because they have to find out, they have to pull it out, they have to verify from the purchase agreement, everything. Okay? And all the calculation. So later I'm going to show you. You at your handout you will have actually the sample of a closing statement. But I will tell you, the estimate and closing, it cannot be more than 10%. So you got to be aware of anything you want to credit to the buyer. For example, some agent, if like really want to credit something to the closing cost, you better mention it right away. Don't wait till the last minute. It will delay the escrow. Then when you delay the escrow, it may have, the rate may be expired if they only lock in for 45 days. It will be expired quick. You better, like, tell the borrower, just, locking the rate somewhere place safe at least 60 days. And later on, if they need to extend the rate, it's pretty costly. Yeah. When you want to extending another 2 weeks, for example, it's going to be very costly for extending the rate, the locking rate. Okay. So later on, actually, what happened, the bigger lender, the bigger become bigger. Small lender, small escrow, or part-time agent will probably get eliminated. Is that the good news to us?
Yes.
Yes! We are all professional, full-timer.
Yes.
The part-timer, because they don't know what's going on.
Yes.
And but I can tell you that seller and buyer are gonna piss on them. What happened? Because they have to pay here this penalty, that penalty, continue on the penalty. And because if the small lender, if they cannot cooperate with even a smaller escrow, if they cannot cooperate with the big major lender without modifying their software. Later on, all the escrow company, they gotta modify their software to work with the major lender. And the major lender, they will choose whoever they can cooperating with the escrow. So later on, they'll be pretty selective. Even seller want to choose the escrow. If that escrow is not qualified, too bad. Okay? So before the seller choose the escrow, you gotta make sure that escrow can be cooperating with the major lender. You gotta have all the software been updated, upgraded. They gotta install the new software. So they will consolidate all the information with the lender. So instead of they email it to the lender for all the paperwork, escrow instruction, they what? Upload it. Actually, once they type it, it's in the software. So on the lender, you can see it just like our DocuSign. The work as a cloud. Everything in the cloud. If we're using the DocuSign, when the seller sign it, we can see it right away, right? Because in the cloud. So they will actually put the software, everything uploaded to the cloud. So once whatever the escrow doing it, lender can see it. Then if without that software, then the major lender say, I'm not going to work with this escrow. Okay?
So James,
Huh?
in that case, how can seller reserve the services? Should we?
You
ask
can't.
the buyer? So we have to ask a buyer which lender you're using?
Possibly. Well, but anyway, yeah, as you can see here, the major lender from Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, Citibank, they will have all the software they consolidate. Even seller want to choose the escrow, as an agent, listing agent, you better check with that escrow. Hey, can you work at a major lender? Okay? Seller reserve all services. Yeah. If they don't work with the major lender, then I don't think you want to use that escrow. You better tell the seller that's choose something else. I didn't say anything. So that's why, for the smaller lender, okay, or the smaller escrow, it's gonna be in trouble. Because they did not update it, and if they don't have enough money, it's gonna be, an issue. So also, on the escrow officer, they need to keep the figure as close as possible from LE to CD. Okay, that's why I'm telling you, 10%, that is the tolerance. If more than 10%, they have to redisclosure. When they do the redisclosure, are you going to wait again? Yes, 4 more days if we redisclosure. Because one day they prepare, and the next day starting the first day. So when they add up, it's 4 days, right? Yeah. So that's why 38 days, that means if no mistake, or no other redisclosure. If anything, you have to update it, redisclosure, it's definitely more than 38 days. And also, lender are not allowed cushion figure to appear. We all have a cushion right now, right? On the closing statement, $300, $500. No more. And the dollar figure has to be exact. No estimate. No more estimate. Closing disclosure is not the estimate, and that's final. So that means if the buyer did not bring the money on time, it's going to be a big trouble. If you, the money is not wired on time. I got to wait one more day. Uh-oh. So all the interest, everything has to recalculate, right? So what if everything is more than 10%? Are you going to recalculate all the figure? You gotta wait another 4 days. 3 days plus a working day. Come on. Then after you do that, and you gotta wait 3 days before you do the loan doc. If for example, if some people, the buyer say, I don't like 30 years loan. Maybe I like to change to 5 years on. If they called off for the last minute, you just throw all the paperwork away. Redo it. Okay? Then do you think the seller going to be so pissed? He got to extend the escrow again and again and again. You'll see a lot of mess, when it started August 1st. Yeah. Because if you anything, so that's why no more cushion. So when the escrow, when they find out a payoff demand, it got to be exact. What exactly the day you need to pay off? Yes, Grace.
How about the cash flow? How do I know in the fund how much the seller can from?
If you want to credit anything, okay. Technically, that's what I know. The credit for repair, the lender actually is allowed, but usually the lender doesn't like to see the credit of repair. Then what do we usually do? Credit to closing costs, right? That's it. Redo all the paperwork.
4 days.
Huh?
4 days.
4 days plus another 3 days, gotta wait for the loan doc, right? Because lender have to know how much you want to credit to the closing. So that's why if you want to credit anything, you better do it from the beginning. From LE, long estimate. So, are you going to delay for your inspection? Yeah. Maybe sometime, I would suggest, are you going to do the inspection first before you open escrow? It happened though, right? Because that's what I feel. It's like if that's an issue, why don't we just settle with everything? Then we open escrow. But that's kind of conflict. It's like when we sign the purchase agreement, technically we should open escrow within 3 days, right? That's according to RPACA. So that's why I can tell you that it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Well,
As a listing agent, so it's a
Well, if they accept the offer, tell them do the inspection right away. If you, and you better have the seller telling them, you rather do the repair instead of credit. Because if anything deal with the money, all the figure have to redo it. You think it's not much, well, and that's think about this though. If your closing proceed, everything is $10,000 and 10% tolerance, that's $1,000. Sometimes when we ask the repair credit, it easily exceeding $1,000. They'll redo all the paperwork.
So how about
Oh, that's even worse. Change the purchase price, same thing, redo it. Because your loan amount, all the dollar figure, if anything difference, that's why, when you, on your handout, you'll see your closing disclosure. How many pages is that? Now we only got one page, right? Currently, we only got one page on the estimate closing. How many pages are closing now? 5. Every detail. Yeah.
What is the purpose of all the changes? Who benefits that? Who benefits?
It's a mess.
Who benefits?
Who benefit? Well, I can tell you that because they figured, used to be they got quite a few penalty for those bank. Some of the slide did not give it to you because the major bank, they've been penalized through the CFPB, millions and millions dollars, because they did not do it correctly, follow their guidelines. Not even the current guideline, they can even violate that, thinking about later on. So that's why even with the bigger penalty. So that's why from $50,000 per day to $250,000 per day to the maximum $1 million per day penalty. Yeah.
But did the consumer benefit?
Consumer do benefit because consumer, they have more protection. Is because as long as if they file a complaint to CFPB, they have to investigate, right? Okay, lender, hey, be careful. Just like our buyer or seller, they can file a complaint to BIE. Oh boy. Then we be careful. Same thing. It's all consumer driven. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, just have to live with it. That's okay. We will get used to it. By,
Jim, if we don't have the cushion, that means the settlement office is going to increase their charges to cover it.
whatever it may be. So escrow officer, they have to be calculated very, and it cannot be rough, no. It cannot estimate. You try to have to get as accurate as possible. Yeah. So basically, this, actually from the escrow point of view, and because that's why, you see here's the complaint. They have to deal with it. And as you can see this, reminding you again, the transaction with the new loan will be tough to close in 30 days, almost impossible, unless you can shorten the approval underwriters review from 2 weeks to 1 week. Maybe you can still close in 30 days. I don't think that's a good idea. So if somebody submit the 30-day escrow, don't believe it if you're the listing agent. All right? Just laugh out loud. You just talk to the buyer's agent. You still are the dinosaur. pages, okay? You gotta update it. So that's why, for the default contingency period, 17 and 21 days may not be feasible. So personally, when I submit the offer, I will probably change to 25 and 30 days. But if you guys want to shorten that period, I would suggest same thing. 21 and 25. That's the minimum to protect your buyer. But if contingency period, instead of 17 and 21. Uh-huh.
Then how about if you are the listing agent, people submit a 30 days close? Why do you?
Laugh out loud, that's it.
No, can we accept that?
No way! No, I will not accept it.
Then
You,
we
you
accept
can,
it.
or you can counter them back 45 days escrow.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, certainly though, you can counter them back because they are not educated. How many buyer's agents, they will still submit the wrong purchase agreement? You still see that? Yeah. They don't even know how to fill it out the proper way. It's been more than half a year now. They're still not learning. You see that. And how many they will forget to adding what I mentioned last year, adding what? A section 1 termite. They lack of that, right? Hey, do you think I will volunteer to tell them I added it? No way. Then when they say, how come it's no section 1? You didn't ask for it. Why should I do the completion for you? And seller's already signed for it. Good luck. Who paid for it? Buyer's agent. You're going to learn from the hard way, right? If you don't pay the tuition fee, then too bad. So that's, I gotta remind you for the contingency period, you gotta be careful of that. Okay, 17, 21 is not enough. At least 21 to 25. 21 and 25. Play safe, I would suggest 25 and 30. I mean, you can always remove the contingency before that, right? If the listing agent doesn't like it, too bad. That's a new rule that I can always, once I got loan approved, if everything is fine, then I can always, once I receive the approval, like the day 25, I'll remove it. Even I say 30 days, I'll remove it. My contingency period, because we always counter that, whatever the day or sooner, right? So basically, you have to, let your client, have to let them know the expectation. And we're certainly reminding the change will delay the transaction, especially to seller and the buyer both. Certainly, we like to have a smooth ride, but looks like we're gonna have a roller coaster shortly. Yeah, I love Magic Mountain roller coaster. Certainly, buyers and sellers. You will have a roller coaster ride, up and down. Lender are for watching those changes on the closing costs, because lender, they have to watch it. Because if the lender, they do not watch a closing cost, who's going to monitor? Yeah, CFPB. Okay, I'll give you the fine. Oh wait, they're going to like it. Just like our file will get audited by BRE. Same thing. Their loan doc will get audited by CFPB. Yeah. So that's why I say no last minute credit after the loan document are drawn. Do the walkthrough early. If it's haven't, that's why we may even have to change it the day. What's our default day? It's 5 days, right? Before they do the final walkthrough? Huh? 5 days, and default, 5 days. Probably we could change it to 7 days or even more days before the closing. We do the walkthrough first. Final walkthrough. Because if anything hasn't been repaired, and tell the seller, do it right away. We don't want your credit. We want you to repair. Okay? Especially those buyers, they love the credit, Since I got to do the remodel, why you spend the money for repair? too bad. You don't get anything. Yeah. Either you deal with that to begin with the purchase price, or you issue the credit to closing right away. For example, if the seller willing to credit the carpet or flooring or window covering, for example, you put on the agent remark. Some of the listing you see that, right? You put it into the LE right away. How much is seller credit, or you will negotiate it within the purchase price right away. Don't wait till the last minute. It will kill the deal. And certainly, you know, because the CD has to be sent out 7 days before the loan doc are signed. That's going to be the delay, 7 days. 3 days to draw the, you know, for the prepared loan doc. Once they receive the loan doc, and the buyer have to be 3 more days before they can sign the loan doc. When it adds up to 7 days. Because if they change anything, they got to prepare the loan doc. Right, you know, do it over and over again, and that's 1 more week's delay.
So what you're saying, if we would like to have a repair for credit, it's not allowable anymore, or?
Well, it's allowable, but you better do it quick in the early, especially the first week. If they have to do the loan estimate again, fine. At least you will not waste much time. See how many buyers, they don't do the inspection right away. They wait until like a week later or 10 days later. And later on they want to ask for credit, and some of buyer's agents, they're so lazy, they don't even submit a request for repair for credit. So ends up 2 weeks later, it's gone.
Yeah.
Then we ask for the credit. Well, the lender had to redo the LE again. Then you're wasting just what? 2 weeks for nothing. Yeah. So basically, if the, for example, if the buyer, they cannot attend on the inspection, probably as a buyer's agent, you just, you know, attend it for the buyers. Probably once open escrow, do the inspection within a couple of days, right away. Then once you see the report, you ask the buyer, you want to do the credit or you want to ask them to repair. Submit the request for repair right away. Try to wrap it up within a week. Yeah, you don't want to waste much time.
So what you're saying, if we ask for credit and then lender have to redo the estimate?
Yes.
So it will take another 2 more weeks?
Yes. In the beginning, when I mentioned that the LE and the CD cannot be more than 10% difference.
Combined together?
No. Those two figures. Because when you already have a CD, I didn't give you the copy for the LE, but it's going to be similar. So between 2 copies, you cannot be more than 10% difference. Total figure, not just the credit. The total. When I mean the total figure, is like the total closing.
I mean the closing fee.
Everything. Because the closing fee you have, you may have interest, the difference, or price difference, anything. And the bottom figure, the total bottom figure cannot be more than 10% difference.
10% of transaction rate is
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah. I know. You say 10%, that's a lot. No, 10%, that's a very little.
So
Just,
10% should be closing fee, right? Not.
yeah, all the closing, whatever the closing proceed. See, you know, how much we need to put it this way, how much we need to bring in to the escrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Closing cost, everything cannot be more than 10% difference. If you want to use the current terminology to make it understand.
So we have to get a home insurance right away as well. Then.
Yes. If any home insurance, so that's why whatever you choose, the escrow have to give you the exact figure.
Yeah, I have to get it in the very beginning.
The warranty is like, for example, if you have pool and you forgot to mention, you know, on the contract. You say, wait a minute, I need to add a home warranty for the pool. No, too late.
What about the termite?
Termite?
You have to do it earlier.
No, termite cannot, termite seller, they can complete it. Same thing, termite inspection have to be early. But if the buyer want to ask the seller to credit termite fee.
No, no,
Be-
they will do the termite, but the thing is, they have to do earlier, let the landlord know.
Yes.
They normally do very late.
That's right. But the inspection you can do very early.
So the termite too?
Yes, everything. I would suggest, we have, okay, put it this way. Termite, we can even, when we took the listing, you can actually ask the termite company come out and do the, inspection right away. Then you got a dollar figure, right? You don't have to wait.
We normally do late.
Gotta change our habit. Okay, gotta change our habit. Yes. Termite on what? Same thing. It doesn't matter. They don't care what net sheet because the total cost for the buyer, but even for the seller, because for example, if did you experience that if the buyer insists want to do the fumigation, but the termite coming out just need a partial treatment, why I have to pay for the whole termite for the fumigation? Then what we deal with then? Okay, fine. I only give you this amount of credit to the buyer. Then you can do the fumigation yourself. Then that's become what? A credit. Right? I know when you finance, some of a lender, they require you to finish up. But that means the base become a buyer's cost. They need to finish up, not a seller's cost. The seller only credit that the termite, the fee, whatever the partial treatment, and the buyer insists for a fumigation. That is the issue. So usually I would suggest if you could, just get the termite inspection ready. And another thing is that I heard a lot of the termite company, just they do the free estimate, right? Be careful of that. Even when they do the free estimate, if they did not find out anything, later on, did they charge you? If those companies, they did not charge you for anything, be careful because they will not warranty either. It just happened to one of our coworkers. After, a half month later, they found a termite. And the termite company said no warranty. Because the seller did not pay for inspection fee. Even they come out to do the inspection for free, but if they did not find out anything, then you better find out, for the those termite company better be watch out. Yeah, they're gonna make sure the termite inspection report do have a 1-year warranty. Even, the no free lunch. Put it this way.
What if we pay for clearance?
Huh?
What if we pay for termite clearance?
Well, if you pay for termite clearances, usually they will come up with warranty. The only situation that happens is because of termite. It's clear. It's clear. It's clean. So usually the termite company, they will charge at least an inspection fee, right? At the end, through escrow. Yeah. So escrow is going to be the center, and all the information has to come to this escrow, okay? And they will just, that's why, remember our purchase agreement, we have to follow the escrow instruction. If the escrow officer telling us when the buyer need to wire the money, not buyers, on their knowledge, it's got to follow the instruction of the escrow. Just like the down payment, remember our purchase agreement, at least prepare 5 days ahead of time. Yeah, the money better be in the escrow earlier. Okay, and so August 1st, that's a big day. So basically, as you can see this, let me just kind of go over on the closing. So as you can see on your handout, this is a closing disclosure. So it's got all the detail, tell you what kinds of loan, everything, the loan amount, interest rate, monthly principal interest, any prepayment penalty, any balloon payment. And even have projecting payment. They gotta tell all the detail. That's why I say it's consumer driven. Our closing won't be that accurate. Now it's like, what's between like the year 1 to 7 and suddenly after the year 8, where's the mortgage insurance? Oh. They have to do some configuration for projecting the appreciation of a real estate. Because if they depend on their loan, if they only got 5%, 10% down, once the real estate property got appreciate and then wash out the equity of probably more than 22%, 22%, and the borrower doesn't have to pay the mortgage insurance anymore. They have to disclose it too. Everything here. It's more detailed. And here's all the estimate, including the property tax, homeowner insurance, and those are for on the closing. And here's the closing cost. This one just a sample, okay? They will see including how much for the loan cost, how much in other costs, or any lender's credit. So that's the total closing cost. And the other one is cash to closing. So that's how much you need to bring it in for closing. So you're gonna have to know how to read it. It's not like our HUD one on the bottom. This is actually the actual one. And here's a closing cost detail. As you can see here, how much on the fee for underwriter, appraisal, application fee, or maybe low amount and a point fee. That's for the borrower need to pay. So those are actually, you can see the borrower side, the buyer side, and the seller side. Okay. And also, for all the service borrower, from appraisal, credit report, anything on the tax, insurance, and any service borrower is shop for title fee. That's how they come up with the total loan cost. That's, when you add up. On the second page, that one is actually just the total. This is a lump sum when it adds up. And you also have to disclose, those are the escrow, have to disclose recording fee, transferring tax, homeowner insurance. Oh, that's right. For the insurance, you have to get it first. Because I know a lot of borrowers, they wait at the last minute to buy the homeowner insurance. Okay? We gotta remind the borrower, you gotta do everything quickly. Because on the loan estimate, they will figure it out this. Same as this, the closing cost. So when they compare the two different figures, cannot be more than 10%. And if you have an HOA, I would suggest, you have the escrow, get ready. And what, HOA, we have to order through what? The seller have to order, right? If the seller got so lazy. So I would suggest, if he could, get the seller, tell the escrow officer, get the seller's credit card and order right away. And it have to be expedited. It's no more like 2 weeks. No. Everything has to be expedited. Maybe if you can get 2 days, tell the seller, pay extra, $75 or $100. Just get it done. And if you deal with like Orange County, Irvine, oh boy, 2 or 3 different HOA, you better get quick. Jump on it quick. So probably even before you open escrow, you tell the seller, order everything and just sit in the escrow. Because some of the document, that's what I found out lately. This is not really related to this, but just like to share with you. Some of the sellers, they are really cheap. They want to order the document by themselves. But one document, I don't remember, one is a demand or something. It has to be ordered through escrow. Seller just cannot order it. But our purchase agreement didn't mention that. It just, one of the escrow officers shared with me. So rather the seller order the HOA document, tell the whole package you order through the escrow officer. Why? Because if the seller order one package without those documents, the escrow need, then escrow say, I have to order it. Then you cannot order separately because HOA, they are pretty smart. It's a bundle deal. When you order, it have to be everything. You can only adding more. You cannot say just pick and choose what you like. No. So end up the seller wasting all the money they order by themselves. They gotta pay the extra. All the time, instead of $300 some and end up paying an extra $400, order the whole package. Yeah. So a lot of items, if you could order ahead of time and let it sit in the escrow. So probably before you open escrow, you better choose which escrow you want to use. Don't wait till everything in the last minute. Otherwise, it will drive you crazy. If you get a multiple escrow, you cannot sleep tight.
So while you're saying those numbers in escrow first, so we cannot wait until before closing 2 weeks to finalize everything?
But I mean, you could, everything, you will finalize everything. But the issue is your loan estimate, between your loan estimate and the closing cost cannot be more than 10% difference.
So we better have the loan estimate, have those numbers in it already.
If you, whatever you can prepare as a listing agent, maybe like termite, HOA, just order ahead of time. Let it sit there.
So loan estimate, how soon have to be ready for buyer?
3 days after open escrow. Pretty quick, huh? All right, 3 days. So that's why you see the loan estimate. Oh, here we go. They will tell you. The loan estimate. And the final.
So every review loan estimate take about 7 days.
Loan estimate 3 days.
We do.
Huh?
We do.
We do?
Yeah, I mean, we did the first one, we need.
Oh, then redo it? Another 3 days.
Is that the one that you said it cannot be more than 10%?
That's on the top. The top. Yeah.
So we can redo it anyway, for the beginning for 3 days, not big deal, I mean.
Yeah. See, then that's a really issue, as you can see here, if it's more than 10%, because here's, you got the seller's credit and adjustment credit.
So can we redo it until the loan doc ready?
Redo it, the loan doc ready?
No.
No, you better do it before loan doc.
No, I
Huh?
mean the loan estimate, since we can redo it.
Uh-huh.
We can redo it before the loan doc approval.
Yes.
Right?
Because, no, you gotta have a loan estimate, everything all set before the loan doc can be issued. But if you say, if you gotta estimate differently, then you gotta go back, do the loan estimate again, then reissue the loan doc. Original loan doc become useless. Okay.
Those figures affect seller's estimate or not?
No, mainly it's a borrow. But seller have to cooperating, seller have to wait, okay? Patiently, don't pack their stuff yet. All right? and make sure you take the listing for 6 months listing, or at least 4 or 5 months. 3 months listing is 90 days, that's flying. No, it's not enough time. Because if the whole escrow is going to take about 60 days, more or less, then by the time you better pray hard. Our listing is sold within a week. I mean, within the first month. Otherwise, you got to keep on extending your listing. So why don't we do it for the 6-month listing instead of a 3-month to begin with? Yeah, cut through the hassle. So basically, they are actually, as you can see, even the last page, they will do all the calculation telling the buyer, because how much they pay even for the total interest percentage. That is something we don't have it currently. After you say like 30 years term, how much interest they pay on total amount, or from the amount to the total percentage. So eventually those are because I guess they probably received enough complaint from the borrower. And that's why they changed this. Okay, I think that's about it. Any questions? Cash buyer, yeah, cash buyer. All right, thank you.